Hello, this is Stephen Dupree of NowEnergetics.com, based on YUEN Method, and today I thought I'd just take a drive in the car and do a recording of something. It's kind of impromptu here. I had something happen last night. I left my iPhone on a carriage. If you've ever done that at the Wally Mart, you get halfway home and you say, oh man. Well, that's kind of where I was at. So basically the phone is quote unquote lost, I guess, so I'm probably not going to get it back. That's what I get from the energy. But it's a good area to talk about neutrality to these types of things, because it's kind of a losing experience, and if you're not neutral to those kind of experiences, they're going to happen every so often. In my case, it's more like it's going to be kind of an adventure to re-register another brand new phone. It's kind of a pain in the neck because it's a business phone as well. So now I got to go to the T-Mobile store, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I have this other phone that it doesn't have a SIM card in it, but I'm actually just using it for this video. So we can't always be neutral about these things. People think they're going to be neutral about all these. You can not be neutral for a second, right? You got to be neutral to not be neutral once in a while, right? You're going to get pissed off at something, or something's going to bother you a little bit, and it can't bother you that you're not neutral for a second. That's a very important element of neutrality that people miss. They look around and they say, well, I have to be perfect, I have to perfect this like everything else. Well, if you're some kind of perfectionist and you're looking to be perfectly neutral, well, that's basically not the human race, for one thing. And that kind of mentality and energy is going to attract other perfectly things into your life too, like having a perfectly 1 out of million disease or something like that. So you don't want that. So you want to be more neutral to these things, the ups and downs, the things that happen, and not have to worry about not being neutral once in a while, or once in a while attracting an energy like a loss or something like that. Or in this case, for me to go on an adventure, this is going to be an adventure to re-register this phone at T-Mobile, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun meeting people at the store, and they're good people there, and but it's probably going to take the better part of a day, and can't really do too well through the website, and I'm going to have to basically get another phone. So this is a good example of what you can do. There's not much you can do about some of these things. You have to kind of throw up your hands a little bit. So you don't want to be perfectly neutral. You want to be more practically neutral, let's say, or pragmatically neutral, right? So you're going to be neutral sometimes, and sometimes you're not going to be neutral, and you don't want to, you want to be at ease with that. You don't want to have some real issue, and some people have that. They have some real issue when they start looking at neutrality. Some people have an issue with not being neutral. They think when they start going after that prize of being neutral, so it bothers them not to be neutral, so they question everything. They question their neutrality all the time, so they're kind of like spinning in a loop, and you don't want to do that with neutrality, right? You want to be neutrality, the way I've always said, is more like bowling, right? You can't bowl a 300 every single time, so you can't be perfect about neutrality either. You got to be, you're a human being, welcome to the human race here, so you got to treat neutrality more like bowling, and I would say more like candlepin bowling. I don't think there's anyone on the planet that's ever gotten a 300 in candlepin bowling. My God, the ball goes in between the damn thing. So so it's just another case of you got to be more you have to have kind of a sense of humor about what the universe is doing to you at any given time, because things are going to happen, and you just have to be neutral enough to roll with it and not be so bothered by it that you're going to be stuck on that, and you're just going to attract more things, right? So if you have that in your energy, in my case, it's something about losing things occasionally and having an adventure, and now I'm going to have my adventure. So let's get neutral to that whole situation of having an adventure, of losing things, of let's say other people finding things and not giving it back to you. That's one thing, right? So someone picked up the phone, it's not giving it back, right? So they're giving it to their kid. So you got to be okay with that. So let's make sure we're okay with that. I can get another phone, right? I can buy a crappy phone. I'm recording on a crappy phone. It's iPhone 6s, kind of the best, probably the best phone Apple's ever made. You could throw it against the wall, so not gonna have any emotional attachment to that previous phone. So I just thought I'd kind of dial in and check in and show you some examples. And this is, this is the kind of stuff you can do in your car. You're going to get upset about somebody beeping the horn at you or something, and really look into, kind of why are you reacting, and for many times it's not about the horn. It could be just a horn is kind of an interruption, and you're not neutral to interruptions, right? It startles you, right? So it's an interruption. So you could have an interruption weakness. So you want to go neutral to those two examples, those two extremes of, being interrupted all the time and never being interrupted. And also, it bothers you when, it could bother you when you can't interrupt other people, right? When they're talking, so, or doing something. So you may have experiences related to that, so you want to get neutral to those kind of situations too. So this is just, because I'm in a car, it's a car driving experience. We've already done 2 or 3 things with neutrality, and I've only driven like a half a mile here because the traffic's ridiculous here in Grafton. But those are the kind of things you can work at anywhere. So don't think you have to be in a certain environment or something like that. With YUEN Method, we don't care if it's quiet, we don't care if it's loud, we don't care if we're driving in the car. I'm talking to you and driving around here, looking around, and so that's just how it is. And so, by the way, if you see my picture, that picture's from like 2007. So I was pretty back then. I'm not pretty anymore, but I don't take my picture that often for these types of things. This guy almost hit this guy right going across the street here. That was interesting. But don't adjust your set. It doesn't get any better. Okay, so it's as good as it's going to get. If anything, back off a little so you don't get too close. But that's just the way it is. So I'll just sign off for now, and please like, subscribe, and share on my channel. I've got not too many subscribers right now, but mostly I'm trying to get content out from some of the articles that I've written over the years, and I think videos appeal to a wider audience. I'm sorry I hadn't done it sooner, because I think there's some value in reading the articles on my websites, nowenergetics.com and The Power of Neutrality, but there's also some value in going through and explaining it, because very often I come up with things that aren't in the text that may be useful for people that are learning the method. So please, again, share this to folks that want to start using the method. I think there's some good videos that I put out on my YouTube channel and some of the other venues. I think I'm on Rumble too, and I'm not sure what video channel I'm going to be on long term, but looks like YouTube's pretty good for me right now, that in terms of their tools and everything seem to kind of match what I can do. So anyway, so I'm signing off for now, and thank you for watching.